This is Exodus 4, verses 6 and 7. And the Lord said furthermore unto him, Put now thine hand into thy bosom. And he put his hand into his bosom, and when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous as snow. And he said, Put thine hand into thy bosom again. And he put his hand into his bosom, and plucked it out of his bosom, and behold, it was turned again as his other flesh. Kal halal Yahweh Hashem Yahashai, Bashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, where I learnt this truth from, and peace and salutation to the brothers on down, teaching a similar gospel, pushing this truth throughout the four corners of the earth. And also greetings to the few sisters that tune in to these video epistles. Greetings one and all. We call this lesson after the name of one of the brothers' pages, which I find intriguing. It's called Fyah Cures Leprosy. And I thought we'd have a little look at this, because there's a man, a nation, bouncing around in the earth under various guises, changing all that is in front of him, hiding who he is. So we want to spend a few minutes trying to, as one of my lecturers used to say, let's see if we can unpack that and shed some light where there's darkness. Let's get into some scriptures here. See if we can set the foundation here. So, for example, in Genesis 4:14 and 15, Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid. And I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth, and it shall come to pass that every one that findeth me shall slay me. And the Lord Yahweh said unto him, Therefore whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And this is the point. And the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him. What mark is that? That's what we're looking here. We're looking at. We want to unpack the mark of leprosy. Hiding under various different guises. This hiding. See if we can. What about the phenotype? It's just got some big words here. Phenotype. In genetics, the phenotype is a set of observable characteristics or traits of an organism. A set. The phenotype is the set of observable characteristics or traits. So in plain language, it's what you look like or the type of things that you do. That makes for like a stereotype. This is a particular type of person. So we're going to keep moving along here. Let's get some more scriptures. See, what is this all about? Remember, the title is Fyah Cures Leprosy. Let's get into what about, excuse me, Leviticus 13:12 and 13. And if leprosy break out abroad in the skin, and the leprosy cover all the skin of him that hath the plague, from his head even to his foot, wheresoever the priest looketh, then the priest shall consider, and behold, if the leprosy have covered all his flesh, he shall pronounce him clean that hath the plague. See, this leprosy, it's a plague. It is all turned white. He is clean. See? We're looking. And let's turn the page here, and we're going to get a few scriptures, a few more verses here in Leviticus 13 still. And what about 52? What's the cure for this condition ultimately? He shall therefore burn that garment, whether warp or woof, in woolen or in linen, or anything of skin, wherein the plague is, for it is a fretting leprosy. It shall be burnt in the fire. 55, and the priest shall look on the plague. After that it is washed, and behold, if the plague have not changed his color, and the plague be not spread, it is unclean. Thou shalt burn it in the fire. It is fret inward, whether it be bare within or without. 57, and if it appears still in the garment, either in the warp, or in the woof, or in anything of skin, it is spreading plague. Thou shalt burn that wherein the plague is with fire. We're trying to unpack this plague, and we're saying that it is fire is the ultimate cure. Let's get back to Genesis. Remember, we want to get into Genesis 25. Don't seem to be able to clear my throat this morning. Genesis 25 and 25, talking about these twins. The first came out red all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. You see, he's the only baby in the Bible, the whole Bible, whose appearance is described in detail at birth as to what he looked like. And we see later on like a facetious in Job 9 and 24, asking, do you know who this person is? With a question mark, and the earth being given into the hand of the wicked. Do you know who he is? See, if a house is infested with leprosy, the ultimate, the only remedy is fire. You see, it's an infestation. That's the only way it can be cleansed ultimately when you read through Leviticus. You can't get rid of it any other way. And so we see what is about to happen in the earth to rid it of this cure ultimately. Let's get a few more scriptures here, because someone will tell you, let's get Ecclesiastes 4, when you speak on this, that all the people have disappeared. So but for Ecclesiastes 4, 15 and 16, I consider all living which walk under the sun, with the second child shall stand up in his stead. I wonder what second child that is. Could it be a dark saying for the supplanter? Esau, being the end of the world, was born first, and Jacob will be coming in his stead. 16, there is no end of all the people. So we see, when you raise these scriptures, I don't want to tell you all these people are dead because they want to avoid judgment. But this is saying there is no end of all the people, even of all that have been before them. They also that come after shall not rejoice in him. Surely this is also his vanity and vexation of spirit. Let's see if we can keep it moving along here. Right, what did we have next? Well, Obadiah speaks to, let's just get this one verse, Obadiah 18, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it. we're getting a little glimpse here of this nation in the scriptures. Let's get back to Exodus. Got there 21:16. What's in that? Exodus 21 verse 16. He that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. What does Isaiah 29 and 15 and 16, what does that say? 29. Woe unto him that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord Yahweh, and their works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us, and who knoweth us? Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding? You see? And in Romans 9 and I think 22-23 speaks about the potter. It's that same potter fitting one vessel to dishonor. This is Esau, Edom, hiding his identity. And also that same potter, he has the right to fit the other vessel to honor, which is Jacob, much to the displeasure of the other nations. You see? So we're trying to unpack the lies and the hiding. See, this leprosy is also described, it's a disease, it's a sin, it's a curse. So defiled, I think the full word is eumelanin, but it's that activating agent that makes your skin have its color. And this is found in plants and trees, fish, birds, virtually all of creation has melanin. The hue in human, hue is a color. So, but this nation, this Esau, Edom, the Edomites, the so-called white person, that's what he wants you to call him since 1681. He is lacking this ingredient, this human. And we saw earlier that the phenotype, observable characteristics or traits. You see, that's what we're looking at. It's not a temporary situation as was described previously with some people having an ailment and then they get treated. No, this is a permanent condition from head to toe, as we read earlier. All the skin being, it's like it's a plague. It's not like other people. So it's not temporary, you see? So let's look again at something here in Isaiah. We're trying to unpack Isaiah 34, and we want a few verses here. Let's see, if we go to Isaiah 34, 1 to 6, I think, come near ye nations, to hear and hearken ye people. Yet ye hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation, the righteous anger of the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses. And the mountains shall be melted with the blood. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down as a leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come upon Idumea. That's the Greek word for Edom. And upon the people of my curse to judgment. The sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, and the fat of kidneys of rams. For the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai hath a sacrifice in Bozrah, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. Modern day Edomite headquarters. is Babylon the Great. Babel meaning confusion, con meaning with, fusion means to mix. And if you put great in front of that, well, great confusion. And that's what we see in Babylon the Great. Because ancient Babylon in Iraq is still many millions of people living there. It's not speaking of that. No, it's speaking of Babylon the Great, the headquarters of the Edomite, the man with this permanent plague of leprosy. It's in the scriptures. It's one of the inconvenient truths. It is a plague. And the only way it will be gotten rid of is ultimately with fire. So we wanted to finish up, I think, looking at unpacking some of the characteristics of this man. You can see who he is. So we're going to go to 2 Thessalonians 2 and to about 8. What's the characteristics of this man with this plague, this strange look, different to the other 18 nations, and different to virtually all of creation, which contains hue, the color, that activating agent referred to as melanin. It's missing from him. His blood showeth forth through his skin. Thessalonians 2, verse 2, that ye be not soon shaken in mind or be troubled, neither by spirit nor by word, nor by letter as from us, as that the day of Hamashiach is at hand. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin revealed. Remember we read if Genesis 4 and 14 and 15, where Cain in his previous incarnation was worried. He got a glimpse into the future of his destruction. He was concerned about his identity being revealed. And that's what we're doing right now. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. And what is some of his observable characteristics? Well, verse 4, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worshipped, so that he, as the Most High, sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. And we see this is a repeat of these people's characteristics. For example, in the time of the Maccabees in the Apocrypha, they sought to paint their own images and put themselves in the place, iconoclasm, the defacing of all the images. And that is what is being described here. Again, nothing new under the sun. That's Ecclesiastes 1 and 9, somewhere around there. Verse 5 here in Thessalonians, the second epistle, chapter 2. Remember ye not that when I was with you I told you these things? And now ye know that withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. You see, these few verses is about unpacking, revealing this liar, this deceiver. Verse 7, for the mystery of iniquity doth already work, only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. Verse 8, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushai shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of truth, that they might be saved. We can stop it just there, because the character of this person is being revealed, has been revealed, and he can't hide himself anymore. And this lesson is just revealing some of the characteristics of this deceiver, this liar. And the only remedy, as a matter of fact, let's just finish off by reading some Revelations, just one verse here, right at the end. Let's see, 11, Revelations 11 and 18, I think. Where are you? Yes. The nations were angry. Thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead that they should be judged. And thou shouldst give it reward unto the servants, the prophets, and to the saints, and to them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldst destroy them which destroy the earth. So that's another trait of this deceiver, this man that has leprosy. That is his appearance. That is why he was described. He's the only baby given such detailed description of what he looks like. So we're going to leave it there. And this lesson has been Fyah cures leprosy. Shalom until the next one.